before you start the hearing, can you place myself and Attorney Toles in a breakout room?
Yes. You both should already be in one. Yes, you're both in one. Okay, for the record, this is position 90 on my calendar, State of Georgia versus Lorenzo Winford. Mr. Winford is charged in warrant number 2022 CW 53514 with committing the offense of cruelty to children. He's also charged in warrant number 2022 CW 53515 with committing the offense of aggravated assault. Mr. Winford is present in court. He's represented by counsel who's also present. State is going to be represented by Ms. Williams in this case. Ms. Williams, would you please call your witness and swear him in?
Yes, the state calls Detective Walker. If you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Did you answer?
I'm sorry, attorney. I have problems with this computer. I do.
Okay, thank you. You can put your hand down. You can please introduce yourself and where you're currently employed.
Detective Abram Walker with Clayton County Police Department.
How long have you been employed with Clayton County Police Department?
8 years, ma'am.
Were you working in that capacity on July 22nd, 2022?
I was.
And on that day, did you respond to a person shot call at 6726 Terra Boulevard, apartment 21D?
I did.
Do you know what county that address is located in?
Clayton County.
And is that an apartment complex?
Apartment complex.
And when you responded and arrived on scene, did you make contact with anyone?
Well, I wasn't the initial officers that responded. Actually, Clayton County Uniform Patrol, they responded. Upon their arrival, they observed the victim, Miss Jasmine Williamson, who had suffered a gunshot wound. On scene also was her son, Mayor Williamson. Upon their arrival, they did render aid to her. They advised, Ms. Williamson advised uniform officers of what happened. She stated that there was more of a agreement. There was a services agreement that was between her and the suspect, Mr. Winford.
Before you go any further, you mentioned Mr. Winford. Did the victim, Miss Williams, or hold on, give me 1 second. Miss Williamson, did she make you aware how she came to know Mr. Winford?
She met him on a website, mega personal website.
Okay. And do you know the amount of time that they had known each other?
Not very long, maybe a couple of weeks.
Okay. And on the date in question is July 22nd, 2022. How did they come in contact with each other?
Well, she advised during my investigation, because I had a chance to meet with her. She advised that they discussed him assisting her with her Georgia Power bill. She advised that he advised her that he would give her $100 on the electric bill, but she states that that was over the phone. However, there are some text messages that I do have. If you need me to read them, I will. But the text message is basically an exchange for sexual services for an amount of money.
So when they first spoke, you said it was over the phone. Did Mr. Winford eventually come over to the apartment complex that you put on the record?
Yes.
When he got there, what happened between him and Miss Williamson?
Well, according to Miss Williamson, she admitted to giving him oral sex. She stated that he was not pleased with the oral sex. They had an agreement and he wasn't pleased and he wanted his money back. I'm sorry, he gave her $100. She said that he was not pleased over the services and he wanted his money back. She stated that she went to her room to obtain his money. When she came back to the living room, he pulled out a gun and shot her.
And where did he shoot her?
In the living room.
And where on her body did he shoot her?
I believe it entered through the right arm and came out through the left armpit.
And at the time that this occurred, was there anyone else in the apartment complex? I mean, in the actual apartment?
Yes, her son.
And you say her son is a juvenile?
Yes, ma'am. Major Williams is his name.
All right. And were there any witnesses to this altercation?
Just that her son was in the other room and a forensic interview was done. And the little boy did state that he heard the gunshot, and when he ran into the room, he saw his mom with a plethora of blood on her. He stated that it made him feel bad. And one other thing, she stated that after she was shot, she went back to her room to grab the gun. And when she got back to the living room, he had left and she saw him leave the area in a gray Nissan Rogue.
Okay. And so not only did the victim identify him and you got a description of the car that he left in, did anyone else witness a gray Nissan Rogue leaving the incident scene?
There were officers on scene, and they did speak to other witnesses within the complex, particularly one worker advised that he did see a gray Nissan speeding out of the complex at a high rate of speed. Now, the officers on scene was able to obtain the phone number that the exchange of text messages that was going on. They did a clear search of the phone number, and the phone number identified with Lorenzo Winford. Okay. Also, we was also able to obtain video footage from the Chevron, because there's a Chevron gas station right outside of the complex. We was able to obtain video footage of the gray Nissan speeding out of the complex, making a right on Tara Boulevard. Officers on scene was also able to access Flock and get a tag number of the Nissan Rogue. We was able to run the tag. That particular tag also came back to Lorenzo Winford. So we got the phone number, the tag of the Nissan Rogue, both entities coming back to Lorenzo Winford.
No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Mr. McKeachin?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, Detective Walker, correct?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my volume is a little bit low, Judge. I don't know if the court can hear me clearly. But from what you're saying, you're the lead detective, correct?
Yes, sir.
And did you actually respond to the location in question?
Eventually I did.
Okay, but eventually as in when?
Okay, typically when a shooting happens, the regular uniform officers respond, and depending on the crime, they will contact the Criminal Investigation Division to come out to do more investigation. So I responded maybe an hour after the shooting, the initial shooting.
And from what you said, there were no other eyewitnesses, right?
That was pretty much it, what I stated.
That's pretty much it. So it sounds like from what you said that there were some arrangements for sexual favors.
Yes, sir.
In exchange for payment of money.
Yes, sir.
And somehow in this transaction, a weapon is discharged, correct?
Yes, sir.
And at no point did you ever recover a weapon from Mr. Winford. Would that be fair to say?
That's correct, sir.
And from the date of the incident, which you've explained was July the 2nd, 2022, correct?
July 22nd, 2022. Yes, sir.
July the 22nd.
Yes, sir.
And your investigation has revealed that there's been no additional contact linking Mr. Winford to this alleged victim. Would that be fair to say?
Aside from the phone number, the tag number coming back to him, that's pretty much it, sir.
And you've explained a series of text messages between Mr. Winford and this person. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Both those one phone number is Mr. Winford, and the other phone number is Miss Jasmine Williams.
And in those text messages, from what you've said, it's clear that there was an agreement of some sorts that money would be paid for sexual favors.
Yes, sir.
And at this point, have you attempted to interview or locate any other witnesses?
I did speak briefly with the maintenance guy. I don't have his name on hand right now. I can get it if you need it, but I did speak with him briefly over the phone, and he stated the same thing that he advised uniformed officers that I did observe a gray Nissan Rogue speeding out of the apartment complex, and he didn't see them making a right, but that's what he observed. He didn't give us a tag number, but again, we was able to get the tag number per flock. And again, there is video footage of that Nissan Rogue speeding out of the complex, making a right on Tara Boulevard from the Chevron gas station. And that video has also been uploaded to our Clayton County Avail system.
I think you also said on direct examination that the alleged victim had a weapon also.
Yes, she stated that after she was shot, she went back to her room to obtain her weapon. When she got back to the living room, Mr. Winford had already left the scene.
And did you seize her weapon?
I did.
You have that in evidence?
Yes, sir.
I believe that's all I have for now, Judge.
Thank you. Any redirect?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, may Detective Walker be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
No objection.
Detective Walker, you can be excused, sir, or you could stay here.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. And did I hear you say that state rests, Ms. Williams?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does the defense intend on calling any witnesses?
No, sir.
Okay. Is there any argument?
Judge, we'll submit it based on what you've heard. I think the investigation is apparently still ongoing, and obviously there are more issues, but probably later reserved for another matter in Superior Court.
Okay. I'm going to find that there's sufficient evidence to bind these two charges over to the Superior Court of Clayton County for trial. Mr. Winford can go back. You can be released, Mr. McKeithen. How do you pronounce your last name? I'm sorry.
It's McKeithen.
McKeithen.
Yes.
You can be announced, released, sir, and
Thank
have a
you.
good
And
day.
Judge, I believe we have a bond here and set for Friday at 8:30 a.m. in Superior Court.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, what are we